Welcome to Liaison. I'm your host, and this week on the calendar, we're visiting a megacity in southwest China that most people couldn't point to on a map until their phone showed it to them. Chongqing went viral not because of a marketing campaign, but because its skyline, stacked bridges, a monorail threading through an apartment building, neon cliffs glowing at night, looks like the future on a vertical screen. Let's talk about what happens when a city blows up online before the tourists actually show up. Let me tell you about a city that didn't market itself into the spotlight. It got there because of a phone screen. Chongqing, southwest China. 30 million people, give or take. Some sources say 32. Built on mountains where the Yangtze and the Jialing rivers meet. And because the whole city is stacked on vertical terrain, the place looks like someone hit fast forward on the future. Picture it. Bridges over tunnels, over elevated highways. Escalators climbing mountainsides. There's a station called Liziba, where the monorail runs straight through a residential high-rise. In one side of the apartment block, out the other. There's Hongya Cave, an illuminated cliffside complex that lights up at night like a movie set. People online started calling it real-life Cyberpunk, and the name stuck. So how did a megacity most people couldn't find on a map become a destination? Not heritage marketing, not tourism brochures. The algorithm. Short-form video. TikTok and Instagram. Creators standing in front of that stacked neon skyline, and the views just pile up. Take a guy named Jackson Liu, reportedly a 28-year-old tour guide, according to one report. He posted a video of an elevated highway bus route that reportedly pulled 56 million views across TikTok and Instagram. 56 million. And here's the line that sticks. Liu says most of those skyscrapers were built within his lifetime. He talks about the clash, old 1980s walk-up apartments, no elevators, laundry hanging in window cages, right up against the brand new glowing towers. Then there's a creator the same report nicknames Chinese Trump, a Chongqing native named Ryan Chen, who does a US president impression while eating hot pot. Because of course, hot pot. The city's famous for it. That mouth-numbing Sichuan peppercorn heat. Now here's where I have to slow down, because the numbers on this story get strange. One source, a Mint piece republishing the Wall Street Journal, says Chongqing welcomed 120 million overnight tourists last year in 2024, up 17%. But a separate travel site says the city recorded 1.27 million tourists in 2024, up 183%. Those two figures are off by roughly 2 orders of magnitude. They can't both be measuring the same thing. One is probably total visitors, the other inbound or foreign. But neither source reconciles it. So I'm flagging it. Hold both numbers loosely. And here's the part I find most interesting, the buried lead. For all the global cyberpunk capital hype, foreign visitors are still a tiny sliver. That same WSJ-sourced report says border checkpoints handled a record number of foreign nationals in the first half of 2025. But that record was only about 330,000 people. And there are still very few direct flights from Europe or the US. So despite going viral worldwide, Chongqing is still, in a sense, a hidden gem. A city in its Goldilocks period, famous online, but not yet crowded with the people watching. The ones who do make it there? The report quotes a couple of Florida retirees, Bev and John Martin, and a 29-year-old UK researcher named Felix Donaldson. And the funniest detail in the whole piece, with all that sci-fi spectacle, one visitor's biggest complaint was the squat toilets. There's also a study cited from the USC Centre on Public Diplomacy, and I'll note we couldn't independently verify it, arguing that tourist videos are quietly reshaping how the world sees Chongqing, building its reputation as a futuristic city one upload at a time. That's the real shape of this story. A place once known as a trivia answer, one of the most populous cities on Earth, a wartime capital decades ago. Reinvented not by history, but by architecture that happens to look incredible on a vertical screen. That's Liaison for this week. Chongqing, 30 million people, one very photogenic monorail, and a squat toilet that humbled at least one visitor. We'll be back next week with another stop on the calendar. Until then, travel well.
Grab news. Thomas.